You sit down to play. You have a few games you could open. You pick one, commit to it, but 20 or 30 minutes in, you know it was not the right game for the time you had. That is not bad luck, and there is a way to decide before you commit. There is a way to know before you commit to a full session whether a game is going to earn it. Not whether the game is good, but whether it is the right fit for the time you have. 4 questions. They take less than 10 minutes to answer, and together they tell you almost everything you need to know before you go further. The test is not a review framework, it is a session framework. The test does not tell you whether a game is good forever, it tells you whether it fits the session in front of you. The first question is about the unit of play. What is the natural session unit in this game? Is there a built-in stopping point, a run that ends, a mission that completes, or does the game simply continue until you impose your own ending? A game with a clear unit of play fits bounded sessions naturally. Some games let you stop. Other games make stopping feel like quitting mid-task. FTL is a run. When the run ends, whether through death or reaching the final boss, the game is done asking anything of you. There is a natural moment to stop. Games without a clear unit of play require you to impose your own stopping point. That works for some games and some sessions, but stopping cleanly in the middle of something is much harder than stopping at the end of a unit. If you need to stop at a moment the game did not choose, you wanted to have built-in places where stopping does not feel like abandonment. The question to ask: when is the next natural moment this game will let me stop? Once you know the stopping point, the second question follows. What happens if you have to stop before it? The second question is what you lose when a session goes badly. Not what you lose when the game penalizes you, what you lose when you make a mistake, or when the time you had turns out not to be enough. In FTL, the cost of failure is just the run. It ends, you start a new one. You lose the run itself, not weeks of progress. That is a manageable cost for a session that did not go well. High cost of failure games require a different assessment. Games where a run going badly means significant permanent loss, a dead character, a failed campaign, a result that can't be undone. These need you focused and present. Low energy play will cost you. The question then to ask: if things go badly, what specifically do I lose? If the cost is high, make sure you're ready for it. The cost of failure tells you about the session you're in now. The next question is about every session after that one. The third question is how hard it is to return after a break. Not after a few minutes, after a few weeks. How much do you need to reconstruct before you can play? FTL has almost zero re-entry cost. Each run starts fresh. There is no persistent save state to reconstruct, no plan to remember mid-thought. You return after 2 weeks. You start a run. The mechanics come back within a few minutes. You are playing, not relearning. High re-entry cost games are different. Coming back after 3 weeks can mean an hour of relearning your strategy, reviewing your character sheet, remembering what you're trying to build. That reconstruction can be worth it, but only if you have enough time left afterwards to actually play the game. The question to ask: how long will I spend getting back up to speed? With 3 questions answered, the fourth tells you whether this game will still fit in 30 hours' time. The fourth question is the one most people forget to ask. Does the game's demand grow over time? FTL maintains its session demand across its arc. The early game run and the late game run do look different. More systems, more events, and more pressure. But the session demand is approximately the same. A run is still a run. The stopping point has not moved. Other games change their demand over time. For a 4X strategy game, or a city builder with a complex supply chain, the early sessions are absorbing and easy to contain. But deep in, what began as 20 minutes of building has become 90 minutes of upkeep. The session starts as play, then slowly becomes administration. If you grew up on strategy campaigns and management sims, this feeling is familiar. Knowing this before you commit does not mean you avoid games with high trajectory. It just means going in with honest expectations and recognizing that moment when the demand has grown past what you can comfortably give it. The question to ask then: in 30 hours' time, how much more will this game ask per session than it asks today? FTL scores well on all 4 questions. A cleared session unit, low failure cost, almost zero re-entry cost, and stable demand across the arc. That is what good session fit looks like in practice. Other games score well on some and poorly on others, and that is useful information in itself. A game with high re-entry cost might be exactly right when you have a proper block ahead. Failing the test now does not mean writing it off. It means saving it for the right session. A game with a difficult trajectory might still be where you want to invest right now. The test gives you the questions. You supply the answers from your own situation. If the game cannot answer all 4 of these questions cleanly, the question is not whether it is a good game. It is whether this is the right session fit for it. Unit of play, cost of failure, re-entry cost, session trajectory. 4 questions. That is your 10-minute test.